What's up, nerds? It's your buddy the Reverend from the Bearded Brewers, bringing you a brand new episode of Cooking with the Reverend. So, what are we making today? Well, we're going to be barbecuing ourselves some chuck roast while I'm sipping on this Oscar Blues Hazy 100 calorie IPA. It's only 4.0 alcohol by volume, so you can certainly crush this in the wonderful hot weather that we're experiencing here in the Carolinas right now. Now, it does have those distinct flavors that come with a hoppy, hazy beer. What it's missing, though, are some of the characteristics that you would be expecting from a malty beer, much like an IPA, because you want that sweet caramel backbone, in my personal opinion. Overall, again, it's 100 calories. It's not bad. Let's get to it. I got a cat that wants something from me, and I don't know. So, what we're going to be making, as I mentioned, is a chuck roast on the barbecue. Put it on the Barbie. Another on the Barbie. Another on the Barbie.
Can you get to the point already, Reverend?
I'm getting there.
By the way, I don't want to cook somebody named Chuck.
So again, pump the brakes and just listen for a minute, okay? So the chuck part of the cow, I don't remember where it comes from specifically, but instead of using something like a shoulder cut, I'm going with the chuck. The chuck has more fat in it, and as that fat melts and gets cooked, it helps tenderize the meat, making the meat just easier and more tender. So I prefer the chuck. The chuck is generally used for stuff like stews. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you take your steak your meat, and you want to throw on some salt, pepper, and something else. Now what I'm using in mine, you'll see here in just a minute, I'm going to be using salt, pepper, ground black pepper.
Why ground black pepper?
Because it tastes better, that's why.
Oh!
And a little bit of garlic powder. And that's it, simple, basic. Because what we're going to do is we're going to throw it on the grill, we're going to cook it to put on some barbecue sauce on it, and have ourselves some barbecue chuck.
Barbecue Chuck?
Not a person. Just watch the video, have fun with it. When seasoning the meat, you want to make sure that you liberally apply your brine mix to both sides. Once you've flipped and you want to add some more, feel free to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of salt. And again, the more you have, the more flavor there's going to be. Look at how beautiful that is. Now, you might be asking yourself, why do I need to put the salt on the steak? And when do I need to put the salt on the steak? How long does it need to stand? Well, I'll answer all those questions for you.
Are you really going to answer all those questions? 'Cause I just want to cook my steak.
What the salt does is the salt gets sucked into that meat and it pulls all the moisture. And there's different kinds of moistures. There's protein moistures and delicious flavor moistures and water and all that jazz. And what it's going to do is it's going to actually turn into a brine. And that brine is just going to help make that steak, meat, beef, whatever, just explode with flavor. Now, the thing is, how much salt should you use? Well, you gotta, in my opinion, you gotta test it out and figure out what works for me. I use about a tablespoon. And you wanna leave that in the refrigerator when it's been brined, as it's brining, for no less than 1 hour. Now, you may hear pros say 40 minutes. Mine is 1 hour. And then you can take it out and then cook it.
But I need to know how to cook it and need to figure out temperatures.
Well, here's the good news. I'm going to tell you, it's super simple and easy. You just need to cook it to a certain temperature, whatever that desired temperature range is. The different ranges of temperature. Okay, yeah, right. Can't miss them. Here they are. But here's the thing. You cook just underneath about 4 to 5 degrees of what that temperature is.
Why?
What will happen is you take it off the grill within that range, you cover it, and you let it rest.
But my meat doesn't need a nap.
You're right, it doesn't, because it's already dead. But it's called resting period, and what this resting period is going to do is allow for carryover cooking for about 10 minutes, let it rest, or sit.
Okay.
And then as it continues to cook, as it's carried over, it'll reach that temperature to whichever one you're going for. Now, I highly recommend you have a digital thermometer. Monitor while you're cooking. It's much better, and you don't have to worry about checking it constantly. There's a ton of them out there, and they're not that expensive. I'll throw in the description a link for the one that I use. Once your coals are nice and glowing red, add them to the center of your grill. If you're cooking more than one piece of meat, you want to have more coals than I've got, but either way, you want to make sure they're nice and gray and red. Next, once your grill's at temperature, open that bad mamma jamma up and throw on the steak. And just listen to that sizzle.
But when do I add the barbecue sauce? You said it's a barbecue.
You're absolutely right. I did say that. Here's the thing. When you're barbecuing, you don't put the barbecue sauce on the entire time you're cooking it. About 10 minutes before you're going to take it off the grill. You're going to open up that lid. You're going to lather on that barbecue sauce. That's going to give it just enough time to start caramelizing and breaking down all those sugars and giving you that flavor and that sticky glaze that you want to find while it's barbecue. Now that it's time, open up that lid, look at that barbecue. Wrap it in aluminum foil and let it sit for 10 minutes. Now, if you happen to have people in your family that don't like Chuck, you can give them Frank's. See what I did there? Here's the finished product. Look at how juicy and delicious that meat is. Oh yeah. Once you have it cut, go ahead, plate it, and serve. Add as much or little barbecue as you want. Now, got it off the grill, we've glazed it, we've rested it, it's had its wonderful little nap. Now it's time to cut. If you can't cut against the grain, that way it's easier to cut, number one. Number two, it just looks better in your presentation. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had fun watching. I hope you had fun making it, and I hope it turns out as delicious as mine did. Cheers, and as always, mash the like button or don't, it's up to you. Thanks again, rock on, and remember, be kind and cool to each other, and keep drinking beer.